Well, there. Good evening, my fellow friends, colleagues, and associates. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, coming at you tonight. It is a Friday night, Friday the 18th, 2022, and we are on the last day of this series, which is we're talking about gifts, right? And if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that what we were talking about is what reward or gift will you give yourself? For those of you that are new, well, welcome. What we do is every single week, basically from Saturday, starting tomorrow to Friday, we have another theme. And then each night or so, we have a stream talking about that. If you are new, be sure that you subscribe to John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur. If you're coming back, well, it's great to see my lovely supporters coming back, and I hope some of my new people will become some of those great supporters. I want to thank all of you for helping us grow this page. We are just about 106 people, and pretty soon we'll be hitting our goal, which is 150, and then we'll be able to stream and make this even bigger. And I want to thank you for us now reaching almost 3,000 people on one of my other shows. So very grateful for you all being here. And so we're going to talk about tonight, February 18th, we're going to talk about what reward or what gift do you give yourself. So sometimes when we think about gift, people always think that that has to do with money, but it doesn't always have to do with money. It could be just something that you're great at. It could be something that maybe you need to give yourself. That could be time, right? That could be time. That could be patience. There are lots of skills out there that you can give yourself as a gift. Now, what gift could you give to the world? Well, when you give yourself something, you actually are able to give it to the world. If you don't give it to yourself first, you can't give it to the world. Incidentally, if you are here and you notice that little black square at the top right, well, that's our QR code. And I ask you to scan that QR code with your phone, just like so. And if you do that, that will steer you over to my Linktree page. In case you are wondering what my Linktree page is, it's just linktr.ee/JOHNCMORLEY, serial entrepreneur, SERIALENTREPRENEUR. And you can definitely check that out. All right. So when we're talking about a gift, like we talked about patience, for example. And so patience is something you can't have for someone else until you have it first for yourself. If we're talking about love, we have to love ourselves first before we can love others. So, this is why it's so important that I say, what gift are you going to give yourself? Because when you learn what a gift is and how to bestow it on yourself, it's only then that you can share that gift with other people in the world. I know lots of people that say, oh, I want to do this for such and such. Well, that's great. But if you don't know how to do it yourself and be that example, how are you ever going to share it with someone else? You're not. It's really simple. You might say to yourself, well, I would like to give a gift of understanding, right? Or I want to give the gift of forgiveness. That's a great gift to give, right? It's not an easy gift to give, but I got to be honest with you. You're never going to be able to give forgiveness if you don't forgive yourself. What are you talking about? Well, I'm sure there have been times in your life when, maybe you were mad at yourself that something didn't go the way you wanted and you blamed yourself. And we do this. This is something normal when we're growing up. It's important to note that we don't want to blame ourselves anymore. We want to forgive ourselves. Maybe we were too hard on ourselves. It's great to have goals. It's just that when we are not cordial to ourselves or when we are dishonest with ourselves, we need to practice forgiving. And so when you forgive yourself, it's only then that you'll be able to forgive others. I know people that they want to forgive people for things they did to them many, many years ago. But are you able to forgive, okay, yourself? If you can't forgive yourself, then how are you going to forgive others? And how would you expect others to forgive you? I mean, that's really the conundrum there. So that's important. What other kind of gifts are we talking about? Well, maybe we're talking about a gift of knowledge. If you cannot bestow knowledge upon yourself first, how can you ever give it to someone else? Well, John, I don't understand that. How does that work? It's really simple. You understand the process of how to absorb knowledge, collate it, and to grow with it, right? And build a strong foundation. If you don't have that and then you try to do that with someone else, it's going to flop. Yeah, it's going to flop because you have to have the experience for which you want to share with yourself first before you can share with others. I mean, that's the magic. And I think a lot of times people believe that, we can just take a shortcut. And as much as I would love you to take a shortcut, I have to tell you, you are going to be disappointed with yourself and others if you take that shortcut. If you learn how to forgive yourself, if you learn how to give yourself time, if you learn how to be patient with yourself, if you learn how to forgive yourself, if you learn how to love yourself, okay, only then will you be able to do that with other people. And you might be saying to me, John, I don't get it. I don't know if I believe that. Well, you don't have to believe it, ladies and gentlemen. I've mentioned this to you guys many times before that just because you um, don't believe something, don't think that it is going to not happen. Because remember, what we believe or don't believe can still be enacted in our life because of other programs that are in our mind, right? So we have to understand what this means. And so when we can understand what this means, it's truly then that we're able to explore. But why don't other people want to explore? I guess that's the biggest question I want to ask. Are they impatient? Are they frustrated? Um, are they, let's say, just wanting to get something done, but don't really have a passion for something? So, in order for you to share passion with others, you have to build up that passion within yourself. That's right. Let's say you're trying to get passionate about, I don't know, there's lots of things you can get passionate about. Passionate about educating people on a specific topic. If you don't get pumped about the knowledge and what it is, how can you expect others to get so charged by it? It's not going to happen. So, when we treat ourselves well, when we love ourselves, and when we treat ourselves the way we would want others to treat us, it's then that others start to come around and are like, huh, that's interesting. I had an interesting story the other day. And, it comes to me because, we always want to put trust in people, regardless of whether we're 7 years old or we're 102 years old. We want to put trust in people. And I'm going to leave the innocent or guilty's names out because that's only professional. But I want to share with you the situation. So here's what was going on. I was joining this organization, okay, a really good organization. And I had already been accepted into the organization. And I remember there was a gentleman that I had talked to, had become really good friends, that was kind of on one of the boards. And he's the one that got me motivated into doing this. And so I confided in him, with what was going on and how they were making it really difficult for me. And I didn't think it was fair. And he seemed like he was listening to me. He seemed like he cared about me. And he seemed like he's somebody that was going to, have my back. And then about a day or two later, he did something. He broke our connection on one of the networking platforms. Now we were building a great, great connection together. And this has been going on for a few years. And now that I was going to be in this organization, and I was accepted in the organization, but there was some requirements that had to be done, like training. And I couldn't get into the second training class. I got in the first one, but the second one I couldn't get into because it was booked. And so I went back to the head person there and told them I'm looking for classes, and when they become available, I'll definitely apply and get in there. And so they had this thing where they would give you like I guess you call it's like a stipend, or they would give you like a coverage so that you could get your classes except for your books. And so I had been looking online for a long time, still didn't find anything. And just a few days ago, I had found something online, but it didn't have a course number to it. And so I was looking online again not too long after that, and I found another course that was sooner and I had a course number. I said, "Oh, this is great." So I had filled out the form, sent it off to the head person over there, and I got a response back from them saying, and it was very interesting, "John, I don't know if we can do that, as we get a limit on the number of vouchers that we're allowed." Now, I was already promised, and it wasn't my fault that I couldn't get into the class. I was waiting for them, and finally, when they signed it, I was a day too late and I didn't get in. And so I sent the information off. I even sent a text to the person and I said, "Hey, I just sent this off to you. Could you approve it?" And that's when they got back to me and said, "We have to review it." And I said to them, "I checked with other organizations that do what we do, and they don't seem to ever have a limit. So this seems kind of strange." I was talking with another person I became friends with in the organization, who I can trust, and was more around my age. And he said, "John," he says, "the way they're treating you is just terrible. And, I feel bad for the way they're treating you because it's just not right. And they're not doing this to anybody else." And I said, "I know it's not right." And then I get a message back from this lady again telling me that they're going to have a meeting to discuss whether they're going to be able to do this or not. So, what they were really doing, after they already promised me that I was a member, they rescinded that, or somewhat may have. It's not clear yet. So, I went back to them and said, "Look, um, I'm going to pay for the course out of my pocket. And then I'm going to decide, after I get what I need to get, what organization I'm going to be a part of. It may be yours, it might be another, I don't know. But I'm going to go where I'm wanted." You see, I think sometimes we want to put trust in people. And it was just about a day or two ago that I wrote back this one gentleman on the board. And I said to him, the person who had actually broken our connection, I wrote back to him, to his email. And I said to him, I mean, I was really nice about, what I was saying. And I think, and what I actually said to him is I said to him something like, "Good morning. I wanted to send this out to you, as you and I were connected on this specific platform. I'm not going to mention which one. Then after I spoke with you and shared some challenges in confidence, the connection was broken. Also asked for you to refer me to some people, if that was okay, for business. And if that was out of place, I apologize. I considered you a friend, and stopping by and sharing this with you all these years and information, and that we have common goals. You were one of the people that inspired me to finally become such and such and get certified. If you don't want to refer me people, a friendly, I can't do that, would have been respected, as I don't know you well enough yet, etc. Not sure if this disconnect was by mistake, but you and I were starting to build a nice connection. Also, the blank organization is now giving me a hard time as to whether they want me to be a member. Maybe it's coincidence, but I thought I made a good choice in confiding in you. I went to enroll into a class, and the head person there, I'm going to leave the name out, said they don't know if they have enough vouchers. I checked with other organizations of a similar type and found out that they're not limited with vouchers. Warmest regards, with gratitude. Yes, I just got certified in this class and I just got certified with this. And then I put down at the very bottom, I won't reach out to you again, but I wanted to see if this was just an error. And if so, happy to stay connected with you on blah, 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 and other social media. So I sent that to him actually this morning. I didn't hear back from him. I don't think I'm going to hear back from him. I think, I guess I might have learned another hard lesson. I was really believing that I could trust somebody. And we're always careful about how we trust. And I'm going to do a whole thing about trust, but this was somebody that I really felt like I was building this bond with. And then I shared my challenges and he agreed with me. And I believe he might have thrown me under the bus and maybe didn't agree with the way things were going. So we're going to block you again, as I had mentioned. We don't allow X-rated content in our chat, so we're going to block you, Loveface. Again, we do block you because we have no need for you. It's nice when you guys don't show up. So we definitely don't welcome you. I never say that to anybody, but this group that comes in here, they are just terrible. They try to send X-rated contents, and our moderators check them out all the time. They think they're trying to pull wool over our eyes, but really what they're doing is they're just showing how ignorant they are and basically acting their shoe size. And so I don't think I'm going to hear back from this gentleman. But the point I wanted to make with you tonight is that I trusted somebody after several years. And I believe because we had common goals that we were all on par together. I later went back and sent them actually another email. This email was sent off to that head person I was telling you about, and this time I sent the email off, and it was pretty interesting. And I said to her, "Good morning," and this other person, "That all sounds good. And then depending on what you tell me, I'll decide when I'm going to take it if I'm putting my own money out to register for it initially. You're the first such and such organization I have talked to that said they have a limit on these vouchers. I asked another organization of a similar type, and they told me they never had a cap on it. Looking forward to taking a class and becoming certified." And then I put down here, "Warmest regards with gratitude, my name, yada, 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 yada." And so, when you get a message and you think somebody's on board with you, it's a little bit hurtful. It's a little bit hurtful. And I wrote back to them saying, "It's sounding like I may not be welcome here at the moment, which is perfectly fine. I'll get the class certification that I need. Then I'll revisit which organization, if it's yours or another, that I wish to be involved with. I realize that you guys may not accept me as a quote unquote, but maybe consider me as a general member. And I'll just accept that for right now. We never know what the future is going to bring, but I'll just consider myself an active member of the organization, just not a formal certified member or a training member." So when you hear things like this, ladies and gentlemen, it's a little disturbing. And this was an organization that actually helps people every single day. And so when I get a message back as a text saying, "I have a meeting scheduled with officers to discuss, I'll let you know." It's hurtful. It's hurtful. And I think sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, what this taught me is that even though we do great things for people, some organizations believe that they're better than everyone. They don't have that humble pie. And it's almost like joining a fraternity or a sorority. They believe they're all that, and they don't respect you. And I've told you this before, ladies and gentlemen. If I don't have a few people out there that dislike or maybe are a little challenged by me, that's a problem. So I'm happy about this because you know what that means? John is bringing his A game to the table and not going to take any BS from people. So I put together a plan of still getting certified, putting the money out of my pocket, and then asking that organization to reimburse me the one at that time. So I think sometimes people join organizations for the wrong reasons. I think they don't join to help, but they join because they think of what it can do for them. And it's just sad. So the gift that I wanted to bring was a skill to help others in actually a medical profession. And that was a gift. So I'd be bringing my knowledge, I'd be bringing my compassion and helping people get through their lives as a volunteer XYZ person. And I guess what I want to emphasize to all of you tonight is that when you think you've got somebody that you can trust and they feel like they're right there with you, I hate to tell you don't trust them, but I got to say one thing. You need to test them. Test them with something else that's not related to something you care about. Maybe I should have mentioned to the person about some idea that I didn't want to get out, but I didn't really care. Just knowing that somebody would break a connection over me for being honest, for bringing my integrity to the line. It's hurtful. So the gift that I bring the world is my compassion. The gift that I bring the world is no bull. The gift that I bring the world is John C. Morley, Sir Entrepreneur. And I'm learning every single day of my life. And this was one of those lessons that I learned just like the bringing the A game. Because it's when you grow and go up that ladder that everyone else is going to want to come up after you. And you can say, you had your chance. Or you can come up. However, we're going to need to make sure some things are clear. And so when I responded back, actually in text, I responded back, I plan on volunteering this time and this time. And then I said to them, I'll plan on giving you more time depending on the level of respect that you and the team delivered toward me. And do you know, I didn't get a response. But you know what? I don't care. Because I know that no one's going to stop me from what I want to do. I may not be able to do it where I want to do it, but that's okay. And doors can open someday that I wasn't even aware of. But when people take that little bit of power they have and they use it to crush somebody or to stomp somebody because they're trying to bring their integrity to help others, I think that's a darn crying shame. So, in summing up this week about our gift, there are lots of gifts that we can bring ourselves. And when we bring that to ourselves, we can bring it to the world. And when we do that, we help ourselves become better versions of ourselves, and we help others become better versions of ourselves. So, my message here at the ending of this week to wrap up, what gift or reward will you give yourself, similar to the medal you saw there? The gift I want you to give yourself is not to give up. I want you to understand that when people are mean to you, when people are sarcastic to you, when people are just so obnoxious to you, I want you to realize that you should never give up. Don't put them down. Don't be disrespectful toward them, but don't give up. And if you feel you can't get what you need there, move on and get what you need somewhere else. But remember, you're destined for greatness. And if there's negative energy around you and it can't be deflected and it can't be tamed, it's time to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to give me a like, love, support, comments in the chat. What was your reward for this week? What gift are you going to give yourself? And how's that going to make you become a better version of yourself? And how's it going to help others become better versions of themselves? Of course, I'd like you to tag all your friends, your colleagues, and your associates and share this out with everyone you know on social media. Then go to my YouTube page, John Space E Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, make the choice. Click on the PayPal link and buy my team a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies, those dollars, in the investment you put in us that we'll put into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, new people and staff, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content filling our globe every single day, whether you're here in the United States, whether you're in China, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in some other place, it doesn't matter. We're all connected in this continuum, and we all can be better versions of ourselves when we put the ego aside. Have yourself a wonderful rest of the night. I'll be back tomorrow with an entirely new question and series for the week starting February 19th. Have yourself a great night and a good morning.